Today I want to talk to you about your life. I want to show you why it's time for a change and how you can make a new life for yourself with a few simple steps. But in order for you to move forward, you need to ask yourself, why are you living in the past? It's time to leave the past behind. Because have you ever thought about how much better it could be if you were living in the present? So stop thinking of yourself as a victim. Realize that there are always solutions for every problem. And stop limiting yourself with what doesn't work anymore. This is what this video is all about. I'm going to give you some insights on why letting go of the past can make all the difference when it comes to living a happy life now, today. So let's get started. What if you're told to quit rehashing the events of the past? Now, of course, this is a common phrase used to encourage someone to move on with their lives. It appears to be simple, but is it really? You see, it may sound simple, but letting go of the past may be quite tough, especially if there are underlying psychological reasons for doing so. Things like the death of a loved one, an agonizing breakup, or a horribly abusive childhood might make it difficult to go on and to move on with your life comfortably. Perhaps you're clinging to things that are no longer useful or relevant. If so, it's time to let go. You won't be able to enjoy the beauty of the present unless you let go of the past. Making the decision to begin is the most difficult component of any change. And that's understandable, but it still has to be done. There's no other way for you to move forward. So the first step is to take some time to contemplate quietly on your life. Take a step back and consider just how much better your life could be compared to how it is right now. Things may improve, but at a snail's pace if you don't do something about it. You have the power to change your life for the better by taking action now, today. So what are some effective techniques for letting go of the past if you're going to succeed? Well, concentrate on the here and now. Concentrate on the here and now. Not on yesterday, but today. The here and now. You see, you have to put the past behind you and look forward to the future. Yesterday is gone. It's impossible to go back and change the past. No matter how much you may want to, and no matter how hard you try, it's gone. Gone forever. All you can do is learn from it and move on. So instead, focus on making today the best day you can. Make the most of today and every moment thereafter, since you never know when that moment will be your last. If you actively concentrate on the present, on today, you'll have less time to reflect about the past. Positive thinking can't flourish if you're overly preoccupied with your past shortcomings. You have to decide whether you want to keep hurting yourself or if you want to embrace a new day that could be full of joy and happiness. You have to make the decision to let everything go and be firm in your decision. Commit to moving on and letting go if you want it to work. If you don't, you'll find yourself going round and round in circles with the possibility of returning to where you started. Decision making is an important part of taking control of your destiny. So where do you really want to be? Tomorrow, next year, in 5 years from now? Well, it all starts with a decision of letting go. So allow yourself to be forgiven. The events of the past, as well as the awful behavior of those who may be responsible, they may be difficult to let go. But forgiving others and letting go of animosity are critical steps in the healing process. Put it in another way, you need the healing that comes from another person's forgiveness. Forgiveness does not imply agreement with their actions. But even if they did something wrong or awful, you can still forgive them. Taking this approach is by no means a sign that you're weak-minded. But if you're getting this message, if you understand what I'm saying to you, it means that you're ready to move on with your life, to embrace all the joy that it can give you. You may have to put some distance between yourself and the situation. So don't hold on to things or people who keep you stuck in your current situation or your current way of thinking. Distancing oneself from a circumstance or person that is making you depressed is beneficial on your emotional level. With distance, you're less likely to be reminded of the things that are impeding your development. So the first step is to come to terms with your situation. It'll be easier to go on if you accept the people and events from your past. But never let anyone or anything to define who you are, because that isn't their job. Develop the skill of acceptance, and you'll be on your way to liberation. So take responsibility for your own well-being. You can't put the responsibility for your feelings on anyone else, because if you do, you're giving someone else the power to control you emotionally. But once you accept responsibility for your own feelings and emotions, you'll experience an enormous surge of joy and self-confidence. Your mindset is more important than anything else in this equation. So analyze your feelings and make a decision. You must know what your emotions are bringing you to think about. You have to evaluate them. If you have good or positive memories in your head, bring them up. Reflect on those. Do not, however, ruminate on the past, especially if doing so brings about negativity that interferes with your present moment. Change the subject to something more interesting and pleasant. You also want to make a contribution to the discussion. You see, when you go above and beyond to help others, you may experience feelings of warmth and contentment on the inside. It's a great approach to get back in touch with your authentic self. Give a smile, a simple hello, or a donation to a worthy charity to brighten your own and someone else's day. These small deeds and acts of kindness, they go a long way toward changing your outlook, and they can have a positive effect on both you as well as the people that you help and meet along the way. Now, hopefully this will assist you in moving on. Whatever you put into this endeavor to change your life, it'll be worthwhile. Cheers to a better present and future. You can do it. Remember, the past is just that, the past, and it's not a place worth visiting. It's not your future, so stop living in it. I know it may sound like an overused cliche, but it's true. We all have things that happen to us that we wish never did, or things we did that we regret. There were probably times in the past when you wouldn't have been able to change what was happening to you. And there are probably other times where maybe if you made a different decision back then, the outcome would have been much better for you today. We all wish we could change some things. But no matter how hard life gets or how many mistakes you make, this moment, right here, today, with everything going on around us, this moment still exists for you to take advantage of. You don't need to dwell on decisions from years ago because they're done and gone. Instead, let them motivate your decisions now toward achieving something new today. There's no point in looking back when your future is waiting right around the corner with open arms. So stop living in the past and start living for today.